Welcome to GOA365 English News Bulletin. I am Brian Sequeira and these are the headlines. Opposition asks how foundation stones laid if tenders not announced. Government says will look into the matter. Goa has once again been shortlisted to host the 2023 edition of the Games, despite news that the IOC moved the Games to Gujarat, says Sports Minister Govind Gowde. Says that state is ready to host the Games anytime after December 2022. Santa Cruz MLA Rudolph asks why fish is exported out of state when we import fish for our own consumption. State government washes its hands off the issue. And now for the news in detail. Despite being a hub for fishing, an age-old issue is that we ourselves don't get fresh fish at reasonable rates. The controversy over formalin-laced fish in the state was brought up in the assembly today. Santa Cruz MLA Rudolph Fernandez questioned the government over why 90% of fish caught in the state is exported, even as fish from outside is imported for local consumption. Ironically, the state government washed its hands off the issue. Here's what unfolded.
Goa, a state widely known for its export of fish. Fishing in the state is heavily subsidized. Ironically, while 90% of fish is exported from the state, tons of fish are imported into the state for local consumers. The opposition questioned the government as to why fish is being imported when we ourselves export. The government in reply stated that export and import is handled by a national agency, MPEDA, and not the state government. Listen.
बायले निस्ते इलेले आनी आलचे पोयचे निस्ते खावपाचे आमच्या गोंयकारांक सोयी ना. ताका लागून गव्हर्मेंटान सबसिडी दिलेली आहा हे बोटकारांक नुस्तेकारांक आनी ही सबसिडी दिल्या कित्याक आमकां गोंयकारांक स्वाय मेवपाक हे नुस्तें. मात हिंगा जालां कितें आमचे ऑलमोस्ट 90% नुस्तें एक्सपोर्ट जाता. म्हाज्या आन्सराक म्हाका एक आन्सर दिला की कितले एक्सपोर्ट जाता पळय विचारलेले तेन्ना म्हाका आन्सर दिलें कॉन्फिडेन्शियल आनी फकत MPT एक्सपोर्ट MPEDAन सान एक्सपोर्ट जाता म्हणून की ऑलमोस्ट अबाउट मोरलेस टू चिंचाले अबाउट 90 टन्स पर डे आनी उरलेले एक्सपोर्ट जाता ते आमकां रिकॉर्डाचेर हिंगा कांय दिलेलें ना. हे कित्याक जाता तें म्हाका गमोवंक जाय आनी आमच्या लोकांक कित्याक इतलें म्हारग नुस्तें आनी भायलें नुस्तें आमी कित्याक खावपाचें. जेन्ना गोंयान आमकां नुस्तें मेवता, गोंयान आमी नुस्तें धरता तेन्ना भायलें नुस्तें आमी कित्याक हाडपाचें आनी आमचें नुस्तें एक्सपोर्ट सगळेंच कित्याक जावंक जाय. ताका कंट्रोल आसूंक जावो आनी हो कंट्रोल आतां कोता कोण MPEDA जी कंपनी ही जी हे ऑथॉरिटी ही मेंगलोराक आनी हिंगा कर्नाटकाक आहा ही थिंगा सान आमकां कंट्रोल करता. आमचो गोवा गव्हर्मेंट हे कित्याक कंट्रोल करिना हो म्हाजो मेन प्रॉब्लम आहा.
आमी पयले सुवातेर सबसिडी दिता पळय ती इंडस्ट्री वाडोवपाक दिता. ती फिशींग इंडस्ट्री मॅक्झिमम वाडोवन जास्ती प्रोडक्शन दिवपा खातीर. सेकेंड तूं जे उलयता MPED जी एजन्सी ऑथॉरिटी ही ऑथॉरिटी एक्सपोर्ट करता पळय तेजेर कंट्रोल दवरपाक. सो ती सेंट्रल एजन्सी मेंगलोर आहा. सो ते वेस्ट झोना अंडर ते येता म्हणून ते करता. ते गोंयान गोवा गव्हर्मेंटाचे न्हू. आनी थर्ड म्हणजे जे पळय आमी नुस्तें एक्सपोर्ट करता ते लोक जेन्ना एक्सेस गावता जास्ती गावता जावं ते स्टोर करता जे गोंयान जे आमच्यो थोड्यो इंडस्ट्री आहा ते लोकल नुस्तें घेवन आनी खुबश्यो गोंयच्या इंडस्ट्रीज त्यो ते घेवन आपूण स्टोर करता आनी तेंच्या हेज्या प्रमाणे ऑफ सिजनाकूय विकता आनी बरें मार्केट गावलें जाल्यारूय ते एक्सपोर्ट करता.
The opposition also demanded to know as to what measures are being taken to ensure the quality of fish in the state, further questioning as to why the state does not have control over its own fishing industry. They also said that prices of imported fish are higher due to transportation and are also more likely to be laced with preservatives.
गोंयचे पयले चिंतूंक जाय गोंयच्या लोकांचे सगळे तर सारकें आहा जाल्यार मागीर तुमच्यान फुडें चिंतूंक जाता. कित्याक आमच्या गोंयच्या लोकांक सोय नुस्तें मेळोंक जाय. हें नुस्तें आमचे गोंयचे भायर वयता, कर्नाटकाक वयता आनी तेंच नुस्तें पत्तें येता आनी येताना ते कॅमिकल घालून येता. अशें जावंक उपकारना.
कॅमिकलाचेर उलयता आसतना FDAची टिमी होलसेल मार्केटानूय आहा आनी FDA तेंचो कंट्रोल आहा. आनी जे तुमी सांगता पळय नुस्तें भायरसून भितरसून येता ते होलसेल मार्केट जे आहा ते सगळ्या पोर्टाचेर सेपरेट एजंट आहा. आनी जेन्ना तांकां दिसलें की बाबा सर्टन आमच्या गोंयांत कॅच ना जाल्यार त्या वटेन जे जास्ती नुस्तें आहा तें हांगा येता, जावं हांगा जास्ती नुस्तें पडलें त्या वटेन ना जाल्यार ते बिजनसमॅन ते ट्रेडर आसा पळय ते करता.
Subhashish Govekar for GOA365 from Porvorim.
The House witnessed heated discussion on app-based cab aggregator issue yet again. Opposition benches asked the government to prioritize well-being of taxi owners of Goa before taking any decision with regards to app-based cab aggregator services. Tourism Minister informed the House that total revenue of Rs 3.34 crore has been collected as GST through the app-based aggregator service over the last 2 years.
Yellow black taxis there are 674. All India taxis are 14,575. All Goa taxis are 2,593. App based taxis are 2,250. Now government claims that majority of the taxi operators are registered with Goa Miles. From the above data it appears that there is a negligible percentage. My request to you, Honorable Minister, and there is a Transport Minister, Honorable CM also, Ada ye taxi bao je amge hai, looks like major people of them, they are not interested in the app. You all should come to one conclusion and get to a dialogue. Yeah, dialogue to me initiate korpak jay, taking interest of these amge je taxi driver hai, ani je maga dista ye kitle goinche driver hai with Goa Miles, je uttar maga mantrin diche.
जे बाब युरीन फाटले सांगलें इनकम विच हेज कम, द इनकम विच हेज बीन जनरेटेड इज 3.34 crores out of GST which has been collected by Goa Miles on these particular trips. आता ये GST calculation जे आयला is a straight revenue leakage which happens in today's scenario, which is not otherwise being looked at. कितली revenue leakage जाता आसतली, समज 1000 गाडयो स्पीकर्सर गोवा माइल्साच्यो चलता आणि 1000 गाडयो generates a revenue of 3.34 crores over 2 years as generation of revenue for the state government. Now you imagine how much we have lost, and GST is not paid from the taxi owner's pocket.
Informing the House that a total revenue of Rs 3.34 crore has been collected as GST through the app-based cab aggregator services over the last 2 years, Minister Rohan County pointed out that if 1,000 to 1,500 taxis of Goa Miles can bring in this kind of revenue, one can imagine the revenue leakage that is presently happening.
जे बाब युरीन फाटले सांगलें इनकम विच हेज कम, द इनकम which has been generated is 3.34 crores out of GST which has been collected by Goa Miles on these particular trips. आता ये GST calculation जे आयला is a straight revenue leakage which happens in today's scenario, which is not otherwise being looked at. कितली revenue leakage जाता आसतली, समज 1000 गाडयो स्पीकर्सर गोवा माइल्साच्यो चलता आणि 1000 गाडयो generates a revenue of 3.34 crores over 2 years as generation of revenue for the state government. Now you imagine how much we have lost, and GST is not paid from the taxi owner's pocket. It is a leakage which happens. Secondly, Speaker sir, convenience fee म्हणून Goa Miles charge करता from 25 rupees for the first 6.5 kilometers going up to 140 rupees. That collectionाचो revenue इतल्यान तुका तो पे करता, ताजो सगळो मॉडेल स्वताचो कॅपिटल कॉस्ट घेवन येप कितें पयशे येता ते तो करता आणि त्या पयशांतल्यान ही इज पेईंग द गव्हर्नमेंट अँड GST टू द स्टेट. सो स्पीकर सर, आज आमी पळयता आसतना हो मॉडेल एज अ एग्रिगेटर वी हॅव टू अंडरस्टँड दॅट ही हॅज क्रिएटेड अ सॅम्पल which allows you to take everybody in the ecosystem and run it well without charging the taxi fellow. एक भ्रम आसा, काल पयर ट्रान्सपोर्ट मिनिस्टर उलयता आसतना ओला 25% चार्ज करता, उबर 20% चार्ज करता. हांगा वो एग्रिगेटर 1 रुपया टॅक्सी भावा कडल्यान घेना.
Opposition benches pointed out that cab aggregator Goa Miles was being given relaxation in revenue sharing and that they had not paid the 5% revenue share due after February 2021. County said that notices have been issued to Goa Miles to pay the pending dues. He also said that the government is ready to utilize the 5% revenue share earned for welfare schemes of the taxi owners.
GTTC board had taken a decision to ask for Miles to pay 5% of the gross revenue from financial year 2021-2022. Now COVID-19 lockdown zalle. Did the minister at that time anticipate? No one anticipated how long will COVID last. O inga poilo tujun antnu poilo ing Sanjay Mahabharata alo te baji Sanjay boson 2 वर्सां COVID astole mu chintu nahle kamu tenga kidak 2 years continuously no one anticipated, but they have been given relaxation. Under what pretext and when was this meeting done?
Because हांवें आत्तां सांगिल्ल्या प्रमाणे गोवा टुरिझम डेव्हलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशनाची मिटींग जाल्या on 4th of January 2022.
No, but see, they've been given relaxations before that.
No. Relaxation has been considered from that day. From that day when COVID cases जाल्ल्या खातीर लोकांनी जे मागल्या, it is not only Goa Miles. Whoever came across the board giving new facilities to tourism, where 5% gross revenue has been the standard, or a ballpark figure has been told. This ballpark figure was taken at the side and we have talked about 5% of the gross revenue. त्या 5% gross revenue calculation प्रमाणे स्पीकर सर फेब्रुवारी 21 पर्यंत 5% प्रमाणे 6.56 lakhs जाता आणि फेब्रुवारी 22 to February 23 he is due to pay, for which we have sent him notices also. म्हाका दिसता स्पीकर सर आज इम्पॉर्टंट आसा रेव्हेन्यू येवचोच. आज इम्पॉर्टंट आसा इज गोवा माइल्स सारकेले एग्रिगेटर स्टेबिलायज करून सगळ्या आमदारांनी बरोबर घेवन we need to work these things ahead so that the transportation system moves good as a proper backbone for tourism.
Srishi Thanekar for GOA365 from Porvorim.
The opposition literally put the government on the mat over a foundation stone for the KPM bus stand being laid without floating any tender, the opposition alleged. Ironically, the government said that now they were even planning on changing the location of the bus stand. Here are the details.
KPM MLA Alton Di Costa alleged that the former Deputy Chief Minister and ex-KPM MLA Babu Kawalekar had laid a foundation stone for a new bus stand, but there is no tender floated for the new bus stand. The Transport Minister Marvin Gudino replied he would conduct review of the work, but had no answer over the lack of tender, especially when it was pointed out that he was the Transport Minister for the past 5 years. Later, Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant intervened, saying there was a mistake in the reply.
म्हाका दिसता की ते तेंपार ते दिसांनी एक संवय जाल्ली एक फॅशन येयल्लें तो आनी म्हाका दिसता हो एक ताज महाल पार्ट 2 बीन जाल्लो काय म्हूण शाहजहान का ताज महल टेंडर पार्ट 2 कित्याक एक फॅशन तरी जालें जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता सगळे ते फॅशन मिनिस्टर कंटिन्यू कोताय. समज हांवें तरी फाल्यां हॉड जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता सगळे जातले अशें म्हाका एक दिसता. म्हाका जेन्ना आन्सर मेळ्ळा वर्क हॅज बीन टेंडर्ड म्हणा, which is a wrong reply which has been given by the department. Work hasn't been tendered. Work tendered zala only for soil testing, which is 4,95,000.
केपेचे जनतेक कानान घालपाक हो इनॉग्रेशन केल्लें फावंडेशन स्टोन केल्लो काय तेन्नाच्या मंत्र्यान, कित्याक ड्यू प्रोसेस इज नॉट फॉलोड. होय शाहजहानूच तो पडलो.
स्पीकर सर ते शाहजहान म्हणटा काय कितें म्हणटा तें म्हाका खबर ना, पूण म्हाका एक सांगपाक जाय. आतां आमकां सगळे कडेन बस स्टँड जाय, जशें केपेंय जाय आसलें म्हूण मागणी केली. आमचे आहा ते बस स्टँड सारके ना. आतां जो आमकां बजेट आसता सांगता ते आमकां बजेट आसता ते प्रमाणे म्हाका वचपा जाय. शिरोडा होंडा कुंकोली बस स्टँड बांदिल्लें कितली यूज जाता. कुंकोळ्ळेचेच मान्य युरीचें तूं नांव घेता. थिंगा तो एक भाग्यदार म्हूण ते एका संस्थे आमी बाजार घालपा मार्केट ल्हानशें केला म्हूण लोक भितर सोदता थिंगा. इट वॉज डिजर्टेड फॉर मोर दॅन 5 years. तुजे हे न्यू व्हायट एलिफंट म्हाका तरी बांदपाची इच्छा ना. हांव रिव्यू करतलो की खऱ्या अर्थान जाय जाल्यार हांव तुजे बरोबर येता. आय वील पर्सनली विजीट द सायट.
स्पेसिफीक क्वेश्चन इज अबाउट केपें एंड द ड्यू प्रोसेस. तो सांगता ते भशेन लास्ट 2 स्टेप तुमी पयलीं केले. टेंडर तुमी केलोच ना. रिव्यू करता म्हणटा तो रिव्यू करता
स्पीकर सर
ऐक रे बाबा. रिव्यू करता म्हळ्यार एक्झॅक्टली वॉट पॉयंट्स ही हॅज रेज टेकिंग देम इन टू कन्सिडरेशन. आय एम रिव्यूइंग इट. हांव जाणा कितें पयलीं करपाचें तें मागीर केलां. हांव मान्य करता.
And why the officials were accompanied by the then Deputy Chief Minister, because the officials has to be also responsible. They also have to be guilty, because they know that it is not tendered, and how they have gone with the Deputy Chief Minister, then Deputy Chief Minister, to lay the foundation stone.
रिव्ह्यू म्हणल्यार कितें, परत विचार करप ऑन द एंटायर थिंग. आतां तो म्हाज्या तोंडान उतरां घालपाक सोदता, हें सारकें नासलें, हें सारकें करूं ना, आदी सारकें जावना, कोणें तरी तशें केल्लें, तें हांव म्हणपाक रेडी ना. हांवें ताजो उत्तर असो दिला, गव्हर्नन्स इज अ कंटिन्युअस प्रोसेस, देर इज ऑलवेज स्कोप फॉर इम्प्रुवमेंट. बरें कितें तें आमी करपा जाय.
मंत्री वचून फाउंडेशन स्टोन घालता विदाउट टेंडर, हो इश्यू स्पीकर सर. 26 कोटीचे काम.
स्पीकर सर,
एक मिनिट. एक इश्यू असा की तुम्ही तेन्नाच ताजमहाल बांदपाक सुरवात केल्लो, त्याच टायमार तेन्ना जर मोद जाल्ली की अशें ताजमहाल बांदया, टेंडर मागीर करूया, नॉमिनेशनाचेर करूया. ऑन व्हॉट बेसीस आर यू ट्रायंग टू से देयर वूड बी टेंडर? इट कुड बी नॉमिनेशन.
तेजो खरें म्हणजे टेंडर केला, ओके, ताका वर्क ऑर्डर दिवंक ना, टेंडर केला, PWDन केला.
No sir, काय ना, आय डोंट हॅव आन्सर टू दॅट. टेंडर ना,
कदाचित करेक्शन.
आणि म्हाका दिसता हॉनरेबल मिनिस्टर तेन्नाय ट्रान्सपोर्ट मिनिस्टर आशिल्लो.
माननीय मंत्र्यान ताका सांगला की त्या बस स्टँडाच्या बाबतीत टेंडर केला, बट तरी सुद्धा ज्या जाग्यार तो आतां बांदता, फाल्यां सकाळी थंय बसीच वयच्यो ना. तेणी उदाहरण 3 बस स्टँडांचे दिल्यो, आनी अशें जाल्लें हांवें पयलीं. बस स्टँड बांदप आनी बस स्टँडाचें उद्घाटनूय करप, आनी थंयसर 5-5 वर्सां एक सुद्धा बस वचना.
गव्हर्नमेंट इज कंटिन्युअस प्रोसेस म्हणटा. तोच ट्रान्सपोर्ट मिनिस्टर आसलो तेन्नाय, तेन्ना ताणें अलाव कशें केलें सगळें विदाउट टेंडर काम सुरवात करपाक ताका फाउंडेशन घालूंक कशें दिलें? हें एक सेल्फ गोल मारतात तुम्ही स्पीकर सर.
एक मिनिट
तुम्ही फाउंडेशन घालता.
एक मिनिट, माननीय मुख्यमंत्रीचो आन्सर
सर एक इन्क्वायरी घाला. कोण तुमकां ऑफिसर हें करता की इलेक्शन लागीं येता फाउंडेशन घालप?
तो खूब शाणे आहा. तो हेवटेन वयता काय हो तेवटेन येता तें म्हाका कळना, बट मंत्री थंय वयतलो.
खंय वता मंत्री?
So speakers, I just want to tell, in fact, because of it, in fact, I demand an inquiry on all this, because it is a just आमगे केपेकारान दिसाबूल करपाक प्रोसेस जाल्लो. So I demand an inquiry in that, why it was done like that without a tender.
Subhashish Goekar for GOA365 from Porvorim.
We will take a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Elections for 186 panchayats will be held on August 10th and results will be out on the 12th. Filing of nominations began on 18th. Here is a roundup of today. The deadline for submission of nominations is 25th July.
On Thursday, 12 nominations were filed from Kankona and Margao panchayats. 2 flying squads of the police department have been deployed in Kankona to prevent any untoward incident. Each booth will have 5 policemen. Meanwhile, Penne Mamledar saw huge crowds as candidates lined up to file their nomination papers for the panchayat elections, while 178 nominations have been filed at the Salset Mamledar office.
आयच्यान this 18 ते 25 तारीख मेरेन नॉमिनेशन स्टार्ट जातलें. सो मॉर्निंग 10 to 1 PM हो जो टायम आसतलो. नॉमिनेशन आसा बेजिकली आमी आमचो हॉल जो आसा कॉन्फरन्स हॉल थंयसर घेवपाक हें केलां. नॉमिनेशन फॉर्म्स अवेलेबल दवरलेले आसा. इलेक्टर रोल जे आसा कॅन्डिडेटाक जाय ते रेडी दवरलेले आसा. ओके, टील 25 मेरेन नॉमिनेशन. 26 तारखेर स्क्रुटिनी जातली. स्क्रुटिनी सकाळी 10 स्टार्ट जातली टील काबार जायसर. तशेंच 27 तारखेर विड्रॉवल आसा 10 to 2 PM. सो आफ्टर विड्रॉवल इमिजिएटली मागीर बॅलट पेपर बाकीचो प्रोसेस जाता. 10 तारखेर इलेक्शन.
I belong to Gram Panchayat. I have filled my nominations from ward number 4. I'm actually from ward number 6, but I have filed my nominations from ward number 4. I have been a punch member for nearly 3 terms in ward number 4 as well.
Development किती उरला
development of Abdi Gopal Gelzalan, there is massive development which we have actually seen in the last 2.5 years. When Babashan was there, a former MLA was there, under the leadership of Dr. Pramod Sawant, we have seen massive amount of development.
हांव म्हज्या वार्डाक डेव्हलपमेंट करपाक रावलां. आमचे स्ट्रीट लाईट सारखे चलना आनी आमचे रस्तेय सारखे ना आनी गार्बेज काडपाची हांव ट्राय करतलें आमच्या कडेन जायती गार्बेज अशी तशी पडलेली. आय गॉट पॉझिटिव्ह रिझल्ट सगळ्या लोकांक घालून पयलें सारपान घातलं लोकां मदीं लोक जाणाय वॉर्ड नंबर 2 ऑफ द हांव वॉर्ड नंबर 5 आसलें आतां हे फाटी लेडी रिजर्व जाल्यार वॉर्ड नंबर आतां हांव 6 गेलां. पंचायत इलेक्शन कित्याक काय म्हणल्यार आमगे वाड्यात चडशें करप्शन चलता इलिगल चड जालें सुबेज आनी आवटसायडरान आख्या आमगे जमीन काबार केल्या. सो हांव लोकां थंय मागता लोकांनी बरो कॅन्डिडेट जो गोंया राखता तसो कॅन्डिडेट दिसून काडून म्हणून म्हजी मागणी. सो दॅट इज द रिजन आय फील द फॉर्म फॉर द बेटर डेव्हलपमेंट ऑफ माय वॉर्ड माय विलेज एंड माय स्टेट.
Devidas Gaonkar and Sandeep Tuekar from Kankona and Margaon for GOA365.
The main accused in the multi-crore investment fraud case which was busted yesterday, Jaykumar Gohil, was brought before the JMFC court for hearing today. The owner of the investment company has been remanded to 14 days of judicial custody. 5 persons, including the 2 owners, were arrested yesterday for allegedly duping 2,500 investors of over rupees 16 crores. We will take a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. After failing to host the national games since 2017, Goa has once again been shortlisted to host the 2023 edition of the games. The state was slated to host the games this year, but due to a lack of infrastructure, the IOC moved the games to Gujarat. Sports Minister Govind Gowde has now claimed that the state is ready to host the games anytime after December 2022.
Govind Gowde today said that Goa is ready to hold the national games anytime after December 2022. The state government has received a communication from the IOA shortlisting Goa for the 37th national games in 2023, and we will give them the dates, Gowde informed. Goa was to host the 36th national games in 2017 after Kerala, but due to various reasons including a lack of infrastructure, the games could not be held for the last 7 years.
2023 Goa host city for organizing the national games आसतली. ताजे पयलू हांवें म्हज्या अभिभाशणाक भाशण केल्ले भाशणाक हांवें सांगिल्लें आशिल्लें आनी नंतर काही वेळानूच आमकां एक गोंयकारां खातीर एक बरे तरेची न्यूजूय आयिल्ली आसा. हांव तुमकां सदांच सांगतालो की आमी 2022 डिसेंबर नंतर आय एम रेडी टू होस्ट द नॅशनल गेम्स एट एनी टायम. नॅशनल गेम्सा संदर्भान लागणारो जो इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर ते आमचे रेडी आहा. फक्त तातूंत थोडेशें आमकां फिनिशिंग जशें आमी फिनिशिंग टच दिवपाक जाय फायनल टच दिवपाक आतां ऑलरेडी आमी फिफाच्या वर्ल्ड कपाच्या अंतर्गत बरेचशे ग्राउंड्स आमी तयार करता. ते एक मेजर बाकी सगळे आमचे अंडर मेंटेनन्स आसा. फक्त 2 वर्सां कोविड पॅन्डेमिका सिच्युएशनाक लागून थोड्योश्यो काही गोष्टी घडिल्ल्यो आसात त्या.
Govind Gowde also assured that 2% reservation in government jobs would be given to sportspersons who have excelled at the national or international level. Listen.
The 2% of the फाल्यां सकाळी 100 पोस्ट एका डिपार्टमेंटान काडले जाल्यार त्याचे 2 पोस्ट जे आसा ते खेळाडू आसतात.
खेळाडू कशे
नॅशनल आनी इंटरनॅशनल इंटरनॅशनल खेळिल्ले नॅशनल आनी इंटरनॅशनल खेळिल्ले. सपोज इफ वी डू नॉट फायंड अ कॅन्डिडेट इन द नॅशनल एंड द पूण गोंया स्टेटी लेवलाचेर त्यांनी बरे तरेचे परफॉर्मन्स केल्ले आसा. द सेकंड आय विल बी ड्राफ्टेड रुल्स अँड रेग्युलेशन ड्राफ्ट जातलो आनी तांकां सुद्दां समावेश आसा. इट इज नॉट मीन दॅट कारण हेंकां जर आमी जर प्रोत्साहन जर दिलें जाल्यार ते मुखार वचपाक शकता न्ही. एक्च्युअल जो ड्राफ्ट जो आसा तो नंतर मागीर आमी
तुमी 2% म्हणटा तेन्ना ते मेरिट मार्क्सय म्हणटा पळय ते तेतून सगळें इन्क्लूड जाता.
एवरीवेर देर इज अ मेरिट इज तो हे न्ही प्रोसिजर.
Speaking on the upcoming FIFA Women's World Cup, Gowde informed that 16 of the 32 matches will be hosted in the state, including 2 semi-finals. The games are scheduled to be held from the 11th to 30th of October.
आमकां स्टेट इज अ होस्ट सिटी. टुर्नामेंट आमचो आसतलो. टुर्नामेंट आउट ऑफ 32 मॅचीस 16 मॅचीस विल बी होस्टेड एट द गोवा.
सेमी-फायनल
विथ 2 सेमी-फायनल काय न्ही. आणि बाकी सगळ्यो ज्यो काही गोष्टी ज्यो आसात तो हे आसा आमचे फिफा वर्ल्ड कप.
इट्स अ बिग इव्हेंट.
इट इज अ बिग. इट इज चॅलेंजिंग ऑल्सो.
William Rodrigues for GOA365 from Porvaram.
Now for the weather. Well, the weather remained fairly clear today. There have been a few spells of light rain in between. As per today's weather forecast, there is no likelihood of heavy rains in the coming days. Only light showers are expected. Here's more on the weather.
While no weather warnings have been issued, a high wave warning has been raised for today. So avoiding coastal areas is advisable. No fisherman warning has been sent out. Maximum and minimum temperatures for today have been forecast as 30 degrees Celsius and 24 degrees Celsius respectively. Light rain forecast today. No weather or fisherman warnings issued. Maximum and minimum temperatures today 30 degrees Celsius and 24 degrees Celsius respectively. Bureau Report GOA365 with inputs from IMD.
With that, we have come to the end of this news bulletin. For more news and updates, log into our website www.goa365.tv. Take care, stay safe and keep watching GOA365.